huge actionable intelligence haul from Marine raid on CIA HQ. The good guys are winning, folks, and it will not be long before the last brainwashed slave are freed from Khazarian debt slavery mind control matrix and the criminals rounded up. The Marine raid last week on CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, has yielded a huge haul of actionable intelligence, say Pentagon and other sources. U.S. President Donald Trump is winning big, with Clinton-linked Peter's ring busted in China as well as the Philippines, Africa, and Germany. Military tribunals and civil indictment across the U.S. are approaching 4,000, according to Pentagon sources. This raid was made possible because Trump signed an executive order on October 28 to recall retired military to active duty in order to take down the Bush-Clinton cabal, the Jewish mafia, and the purge CIA and FBI of traitors, the sources say. The sources say that during the November 18 raid on the CIA headquarters, computers and documents were seized, and as a result, some 400 drug facilities were located and the U.S. military began bombing them in Afghanistan on November the 19th. They added that the bombed location were labeled as the Taliban's in order to be politically correct. In other words, they do not want the world to think there is a civil war going on inside the military-industrial complex. In any case, the Marines have proven once again that they are simple fidelists, always faithful, and this was not just a military operation, but an intelligence operation, a psychological warfare operation, and the largest anti-drug operation in history, the sources continue. In addition to cutting off heroin money from Afghanistan, the cutting off of air flights and land connections to North Korea has stopped the flow of amphetamine money to Khazarian Kabul as well, according to Asian secret society sources. The mass arrested in deportation of the MS-13 El Salvadorian gang, who were hired killers for drug kingpin El Chapo, as well as the new attack on the Mexican and Colombian drug cartels, means cocaine money from South America is also being cut off. The ongoing legalization of marijuana worldwide has also cut off that source of Khazarian black money. With CIA drug money influence drying up, the International Criminal Court is posted to prosecute the CIA and Bush cabal for torture and other war crimes in Afghanistan as well as elsewhere, the Pentagon and other sources say. Also, one of the largest corruption cases in U.S. military history has led to the investigation of 440 people, including 60 admirals, one-third of the Navy's top brass. The removal of these corrupt officers, mostly stationed in Asia, means the Seventh Fleet is soon going to stop protecting the corrupt politicians in Japan, South Korea, and the secret Khazarian colony of North Korea. This will mean that U.S. arrests will be followed by similar arrests in Asia. The Japanese criminals involved in the March 11, 2011 tsunami and nuclear mass murder attack on Japan, fearing for their life, have detained whistleblower and Nazi Illuminati Grandmaster Alexander Romanov, aka Slasher Zarek, and confined him in inhumane conditions at Hasegawa Hospital in Fuchu, Tokyo. The hospital phone number is 81-422-3186 and 00. Former Prime Minister Yasuhiro Nakasune, former Prime Minister Yoshiro Mori, the mayor of Kogane City, the police chief of Kogane City, and all other criminals involved in the Fukushima crimes against humanity will be jailed and eventually executed unless they release Zarek and immediately hold press conference to confess their sins. Their access will be impounded and Zarek will be compensated for the harm that has been done to him, said White Dragon Society sources. Of course, senior masterminds in the US, Italy, and Switzerland will also be brought to justice for these crimes. Many top Khazarian mobsters like Bill Gates and George Soros have already been taken out of commissions, White Dragon Society sources say. Of course, senior masterminds in the US, Italy, and Switzerland will also be brought to justice for these crimes. Many top Khazarian mobsters like Bill Gates and George Soros have already been taken out of commissions, White Dragon Society sources say. Next, Among the most prominent people expected to be taken down are Eric Schmidt of Google, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, as well as Masayoshi Son of SoftBank, and many other oligarchs who have been used as funnels to launder privately owned central bank-fiat money into the real economy. Japan's right-wing sources say that Son has already been dealt with. Meanwhile, a source within U.S. Marine headquarters also provides sordid detail of all the Khazarian crimes that were uncovered in the raid. This was received via email from a CIA white hat. From a Marine at CIA headquarters, the U.S. Marines raided the Central Intelligence Agency in Langley, Virginia this past weekend. The Marines retrieved a lot of evidence implicating well-known politicians of embezzling, election rigging, identity fraud, assassination plots, murders, domestic terrorism, and pedophilia. I have placed the following 23 items to pique your interest and summarize what's happening. Item 1. CIA headquarters has been raided. The FBI has been neutralized, and $35 trillion of U.S. Treasury embezzled funds had been recovered. About $100 trillion has been embezzled by the Bush and the Clintons. Item 2. President Donald Trump reopened the President John F. Kennedy assassination files, and George Bush was behind it. JFK auto-spy photographs were falsified. Item 3. The sexual harassment outside of all these members of Congress is a mainstream media distraction of what's really going on behind the scene. Item 4. Alex Jones of InfoWars is a traitor, a national security threat who is connected with a division of the Mossad, the State of Israel's secret intelligence service. Item 5. Hillary Rodham Clinton had ordered the murders of the domestic assassination squads of Ron Brown, Commerce Secretary, William Colby, Director of Central Intelligence, Vince Foster, Deputy White House Counsel, and John F. Kennedy, son of assassinated President John F. Kennedy, and others. Item 6. Then Republican presidential candidate Trump was right that Sen. Ted Cruz's father was implicated with Lee Harvey Oswald. Item 7. California Rep. Adam Schiff, ranking member of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel, former White House Chief of Staff of U.S. President Barack Obama, are connected with the Mossad. Item 8. Barack Obama was born in Kenya, and the former president has committed identity fraud. For this, Obama should be arrested for identity fraud. Item 9. Sen. Cruz is a Canadian citizen who faked his birth certificate to become the U.S. Senator and has committed identity fraud. Cruz should be arrested for identity fraud. Item 10. President Donald Trump has got the file of ever journalists Chris Matthews, Wolf Blizzard, Alex Jones that's on the CIA payroll. Item 11. The U.S. Marines removed computers from CIA headquarters this past weekend. Item 12. They now have proof and evidence that Hillary Rodham Clinton has committed election fraud, treason, and sedition. She's a drug dealer. She's committed mass murders. She's murdered people at the State Department as a murder for hire scheme. Item 13. Bill Planty, who retired as a CBS News correspondent in November 2016, confirmed that JFK was shot from the front. Tennessee Sen. Democratic president candidate Al Gore actually won the 2000 election, and the whole 11 September terrorist attack was rigged. Planty said none of this will be reported because reporters are afraid of their lives. Item 14. This country will not have a deficit once protocols are implemented. $100 trillion comes, $35 trillion go right into the U.S. Treasury, and there's a $15 trillion surplus. We can cut taxes, rebuild the military, create a great infrastructure program for this country, and Donald Trump will go down as the greatest president since Ronald Reagan. Item 15. George Bush tried to assassinate President Reagan 3 times during Reagan's 8-year presidency. Item 16. Daddy Bush also tried to assassinate President Donald Trump 7 times, and Bush, throughout the years, has been involved with 25 assassination plots against other major political figures, specifically Congress members and senators. Item 17. If Gore had taken office and the Bush weren't able to steal the election, there was a plot to remove Gore and put vice presidential candidate Al Lieberman as president. Item 18. There's a cover-up involving California Rep. Maxine Waters and the Blue Moon Bank in Thailand. Item 19. The November 3, 2017 Rand bouncer assault on anti-war, pro-life Kentucky Sen. Rand Paul was attempted murder. That guy Booster was chipped it, because Paul knows too much and he can't be controlled. Item 20. A reporter in a major network was going to break a story, which he's sitting on to this day, that the government contacted the orphanage around the country and paid this orphanage to transport orphans to Washington, D.C., so Dick Cheney and Judge Bush and other pedophiles could pick out the kids they wanted to have sex with. Then they took those kids to parties. Hookers were present at these parties, Congress members were drunk, and the photographs were taken of politicians and these orphans in sexually compromising positions. A huge portion of Congress was and now is controlled through blackmailed. Item 21. When the U.S. Marines raided the CIA buildings, they recovered the pre-11 September terrorist attack financial transactions, insurance documents, plus other papers. All these documents are now in possession of U.S. Marine intelligence. Item 22. The state of Wisconsin, the Federal Reserve, and the former Wisconsin governor Tommy Thompson were involved with the theft of trillions of dollars from the U.S. Treasury. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker should turn over everything he has, or he will be subpoenaed. Item 23. California Democrat Governor Jerry Brown has ordered a Pedogate investigation of his own party, involving California Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi and U.S. Senator Kamala Harris. The information above is not entirely in accord with what our own sources have been telling us, but it is comprehensive enough that we have posted practically verbatim. Also, we cannot confirm that the wanted protocols will be activated and the $100 trillion will come in. However, we can confirm that Janet Yellen was forced to resign as governor of the Federal Reserve Board, even though her term was supposed to extend until 2024. That means that the U.S. dollars printing press will be taken away from the Kazarian mob, and in theory, that unlimited funds can be made available to make America great again, along with the rest of the world. There's still a lot left to be done, though, before the Kazarian mob is truly defeated, so now is no time to rest on the laurels. In the U.S., the corporate propaganda media still has to be taken down and forced to start reporting the truth. Many steps have been taken in that direction last week. For example, the Washington Post and the Kazarian-owned advanced publications are facing defamation lawsuits by Senator Roy Moore of Alabama after the sex abuse allegations were exposed as lies, Pentagon sources say. Donald Trump supports Moore. Also, an attempt by the Kazarian mob to force Rupert Murdoch to sell Fox is being stopped by the Trump administration, according to Pentagon sources. As a first step, the Department of Justice is going to force Comcast to divest the NBC Universal and give up their attempt to take over Fox, the sources say. The arrest of top media bosses is also imminent, they say. The Kazarians, for their part, are also circling the wagons in Israel and Saudi Arabia, with Israeli forces and the mercenary armies in Saudi Arabia combining to define Kazarian control over much of the world's oil. However, according to Pentagon sources, Israel is under an arms embargo, as longtime customer India scrapped a $500 million anti-tank missile deal. Germany post-Merkel may stop building subs. Israel may not get more F-35s and will be denied parts, and the 10-year $38 billion military aid package made under Obama may be cancelled. Overall, it was been truly a spectacular week of victories for the people of planet Earth. There are also undeniable signs that regime change is coming for Israel, Japan, Germany, Italy, France, and England. If this happens and is followed by mass arrests, we will know the nightmare of Kazarian Babylonian debt slavery is truly ending. A new dawn for humanity is arising. Let us all keep up the pressures to make it happen.